The Chicago Bulls rout the Charlotte Hornets in Zach Lavine's first game back in a nearly 35 days. Let's talk about his performance, how he looked, and ultimately whether or not this is something that can actually coexist if he should not be moved right after this. Listen, if you're new to the channel, it's your boy P Kid. This is the Chicago Bulls Breeze, offset of the Windy City Breeze, where we actually talk all things Chicago Bulls. This is our dedicated page for that moving forward. And guess what? We got to see Zach Lavine back in the lineup after nearly a month and some change being away. And he did not look bad and he didn't disappoint. Realistically, everyone knew that when Zach Lavine got back into the lineup, that the one thing that we all wanted to see is realistically, could he actually gel with what the new look Bulls were looking like? Could he get with the program? Could he actually buy into that system? And could Billy Donovan actually manage it? Like realistically, what the lineup he was going to put out. Now, one of those things we'll start with the second part was impacted by injury. We did not get to see Zach Lavine with Alex Caruso, Patrick Williams. We actually got to see him come off the bench. Again, he is on a minute restriction, 25 to 30 minutes. And this particular game, he did play 30 minutes. And he actually, again, looked pretty good in his minutes that he actually was able to put up. 15 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. This is actually a nice game, and he did it all within the flow of the game. And that's actually one of the things that we wanted to look for. Well, we're going to get the Zach that was going to force shots. Well, we're going to get the Zach that actually played poorly like he did in the first half of this particular season. Or were we going to see the Zach Lavine who actually looked like he wanted to be a part of a team and be in the lineup for such? And I think that's what we got. Now, mind you, it is still one game. Excuse me. And on top of that, it is still the Charlotte Hornets. And so this game didn't necessarily facilitate or necessitate, rather, for us to see a whole lot of individual action. The game didn't come down to your stars need to be stars. In fact, the whole game actually really felt like everyone was looking for the shots of one another, and it was actually kind of really working well. I mean, Kobe White had his moments where he actually absolutely was taking people off the dribble and breaking people down, continuing the trend that he's already been on. By the way, phenomenal game for Kobe White, 22 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, nearly had that triple double. Have to shout him out because again, when I cooked him when he wasn't playing well, I got to give him every praise when he is. The man is balling. But when it comes down to getting Zach back and what this ultimately means, we got to see a Zach Lavine that actually looked like he wanted to be a part of the team. Now, does this mean that the Chicago Bulls may not be trading him? Absolutely not. In fact, again, this actually still could be helping the cause, could be helping it on both fronts. If he's going to play and be a part of the team, and then at times when we need him to throw on a cape, he can actually do so and perform at a high level, then we have that Zach Lavine and we have that ability. We have that player there. Great. That's what we want to see. If this is just all about making sure that he can actually show that he can be healthy and still actually work within the system, things of that nature, basically put out good tape so that they can actually facilitate a trade, well, this is what you want to see. 15 points, five rebounds, four assists off of on a minute restriction in and out of lineup, and still in a game where they actually won by double digits. It's what you want to see. Even at one point during that game, the Bulls took off on the Charlotte Hornets. Now, the Charlotte Hornets made a little comeback, but hey, so what? We were up realistically. One of the things I actually want to shout out about this game, though, is not necessarily his offensive output, which is what we tend to look at. If you're someone who just casually watches basketball, you see the numbers, you say, oh, it was a decent game, stuff like that. But when you really watch the game, the one thing I will say is he looked better defensively. Like his defense was actually a focal point. He looked like he was actually out there to stick defense. And again, keeping with the trend of what our team has been putting out there, our team is one of the best or better defensive teams within the league. And so one of the knocks on Zach has always been his defense. And if it wasn't his defense, it was something else that was related to him being on the floor. Well, today you didn't see that. And this again, it's his first game back. And so overall, you got to see good defense. You got to see the fact that he could still score, knock down shots at a high level. He was able to do so, that and more, all within the flow of the game. giving you exactly what you needed. Now, I know this is a Zach Lavine video, but at the end of the day, we also want to talk about the fact that the Bulls were able to bounce back and get a win. Now they do have to play the Charlotte Hornets again on Monday, and so that should be another opportunity for us to see Zach Lavine actually again get more reps, get more acclimated, get back into playing within the flow, playing NBA basketball on the actual NBA court, not the Windy City Bulls. Is a different level of competition. No this, but it just is. And actually see him get his legs underneath him and his bearings, and then again work himself back into playing shape. This is actually something that we want to see, and I think us having the Hornets, and then the Hornets again on Monday, and then the Houston Rockets on Wednesday, which is a nice. These are nice stepping stones to that particular game. But overall, again, played well, didn't force it, played good defense, got the dub. We move on to the next game. And that's what we want to see. Whether he's going to be a Chicago Bull or not, we got what we wanted to see. And hopefully, if he is, we can continue this, ride this energy, and then at the end of the day, make up for the games that we lost earlier this season so we can make a strong playoff push. But I want to hear your thoughts, man. I want to hear how you felt about the game, how you specifically felt about Zach Lavine, and give your thoughts on ultimately how this can actually shape up if we do keep him. Even if you're not on that train of keeping them, tell me who you would trade them for. As we had a couple teams make people available for trade as of today, according to Shams. I want to hear your thoughts. Whether it's love, whether it's hate, put in the comments. I'll be in there with you. Till next time. Peace.